Compost Stew, an A to Z recipe for the earth. By Mary McKenna Sedals, illustrated by Ashley Wolf. Environmental chefs, here's a recipe for you to fix from scratch to mix a batch of compost stew. What is compost? Compost is a wonderful thing for your garden. We're going to learn how you can make some. Ingredients: A for apple cores, B for bananas bruised, C coffee grounds with filters used. Can you find the apple cores? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B is bananas bruised. What color is a bruised banana? It's brown. Can you find them? I see them in the dog's mouth. And C is for coffee grounds with filters used. I don't suppose you drink coffee. When you brew coffee, you have this filter that you put the coffee beans in, and after the flavor all comes out, then this is all left over, the ground beans and the filter. Those can all go into our compost stew. D for dirt clods, crumbled. Have you ever pulled weeds out of the ground and had dirt stuck to it? That goose is helping to pull weeds out of the garden, and there's clods of dirt stuck on those roots. Those will make great compost. E is for eggshells crushed. And F for fruit pulp left behind all mushed. This person is baking a frozen lemon pie, and they're using lemons, which not only have a peel on the outside, but when you squeeze all the juice out, then that lemon inside is left over. That's fruit pulp. And can you find the eggshells? I think the dog is watching the eggshells. G is for grass clippings. If you have a lawn or yard, you might have grass growing. If you cut that grass, sometimes in the spring especially, there's too much grass and it lays on top. And some people need a place to put that. Instead of throwing it away, we can put it in our compost. H is for hair snippings. Looks like somebody's getting a haircut. And there's extra hair that can go in our compost. And I says, and an insect or two. I is for insect. Who's holding the insect? It's the goose. Just add to the pot and let it all rot into compost stew. Let's see if you can help me find the things. Can you find the apple core? Can you find the bruised bananas? Here's the banana, here's the apple. Can you find the coffee filter with the coffee grounds? How about the dirt clod? The goose is holding it. And F was for fruit, and there's the dog with the fruit on his head. Save jack-o'-lanterns. Maybe after Halloween you have a jack-o'-lantern. When it gets all rotted, we don't need to throw it away. We can put it in our compost. J is for jack-o'-lanterns. K is kitchen scraps. Maybe little bits of this and that you don't eat from your kitchen. L is for laundry lint from dryer traps. When you dry clothes in a dryer, a lot of times there's lint left behind that needs to be cleaned out. That can go in our compost stew. Mulch removed from garden beds. M for mulch. Mulch is like leaves and grass clippings and things to keep it from being bare dirt so the sun doesn't make it so hot. N is for nutshells. When you get a nut, often it comes with a nutshell. O is for oatmeal. She didn't eat all of her oatmeal for breakfast, and that can go into the compost stew too. And P is for paper shreds. What kind of paper is that? It's newspaper. And who's doing the shredding? The goose and the dog. Q is for quarry dust. A quarry is a place where you find rocks. Quarry dust would be like sand, little bits of rock. R is for rye bread crust. Rye bread is a special kind of bread. I like to eat the crust of my bread, but some people don't eat the crust. And S is for seaweed strands, a few. If you live near a beach, especially near an ocean, sometimes big waves will put the seaweed up onto the beach, and when you walk, it tangles around your ankles. You can put that in the compost too. Just add to the pot and let it all rot into compost stew. I don't think I can see all the little things in this picture. I can definitely see the paper shreds. Can you see those? She has them in her hand. Take tea bags plucked from long, hot swimmings. That's what the goose is holding in its mouth, are tea bags. If you've ever made tea from a tea bag, the tea has to soak in the hot water until all the flavor comes out, and then you pull the tea bag out, and that's extra. Usually it can get thrown away, or it can get composted. We'll put it in our compost stew. U is for underbrush prunings. If you have a bush, it might have some branches that go too close to the ground. He's cutting off the under ones to put into the compost pile. U is for underbrush prunings. V is for vegetable trimmings. If you have a garden, you may see some parts of vegetables that you don't even eat. Like, here's a carrot, and there's a top on the carrot. People don't usually eat the tops of the carrot. And you would leave that in the garden, but we can put that in our compost. Wiggly worms with compost cravings. Worms love compost. Those worms are wrapped up already in newspaper. W is for wiggly worms. X is for Christmas tree needles. The X is the abbreviation for Christmas. Some people say Xmas. If you have a Christmas tree, it has needles on it. Those can go in the compost. And Y is for yellow pine shavings. if you have a small animal, sometimes chickens, like pine shavings, but also if you have a guinea pig or a hamster or a mouse, some people put pine shavings in their beds. A nice soft bed. And zinnia heads from flower beds whose blooming days are through, just add to the pot and let it all rot into compost stew. Z is for zinnia heads. Those are flowers. I'm not sure where those flowers are in this picture. I do see a worm or two. Can you find the worms? Look at that happy worm. Moisten. They're using a watering can. Toss lightly. Got a pitchfork and a shovel. So there's a lot of things in this. And here's the bin where you can put your compost. Cover and let it brew. And when the cooking is complete, Mother Earth will have a treat. Dark and crumbly, rich and sweet. Now open the pot, and what have you got? Compost stew. It's changed quite a lot. It doesn't look like all those things now. It looks like dark dirt compost. What are they going to do with their compost? I bet they're going to put it in their garden. The end.